Hi, good to see you all. So today I'm with Abby here, who's a specialist in rose gardens. And I thought you'd enjoy seeing his rose garden, just his thoughts around roses and how to take care of them at this time of the year. Okay, here we go.
So to begin, the orientation of the lot is more east facing. So the front garden gets the sun from the east. And so to give you some idea about the orientation of the lot, this is a Hansa rose hedge. It's been here, I think it's about maybe 60 years old, and all I do is prune it back. And come July, and it's still, this is end of August, it still has some blooms in it. So that's a real mainstay. This part of the garden came out around in different stages from around 2000 and gradually came out. So back there is about 20 years old, and this is about between 10 to 15 years old.
So you expanded it towards
Gradually, yeah.
towards the pavement.
Yeah.
Like
There was a birch tree here, so that they had to take that down about 3 years ago.
well, it probably opened up quite a bit of light.
Yeah, because you see, the tree was here, I had mostly hostas and things like wood and ferns and stuff under the shade. But it has made no difference since the shade is gone. So
They seem to be doing all right
yeah,
right there.
and in front I have ground covers and lots of tulips and stuff like that in the spring, which you don't see now.
And some gorgeous hollyhocks here.
This hollyhock was bought with the idea for it to be a miniature, but it's two of them, and they're all towering. So I think that was they made a mistake with
Yes.
the plants they sent. Like I said, they have hostas in here. There are nice irises that bloom in June, July. This is anemone and Japanese anemone. There's a set over here and one over there, which you'll see later. This is the variegated mock sunflower. You'll see the leaves are variegated. There's some phlox in there, and of course these hollyhocks, they're just volunteers. I haven't planted them. These pink ones. Miss Kim lilac. This is hazeldine, and it's a yellow rose. It's covered in yellow in this, spring.
Hazeldine.
Hazeldine. And then you have phlox. Of course, below, there's lots of tulips through here.
How you choose your tulips? Do you change them? How often do you change them?
I don't have a plan to change them, but when I get the catalog and I see all these beautiful things, I get carried away and order them. But this, because they come back, it's difficult to find a spot to put them. So back in there you have another phlox, that's David.
I have that one as well in my garden. It's mildew resistant.
And there are lots of other perennials in there that are not blooming right now. That's mock sunflower again there, but not the variegated. There's some beautiful hostas here. Phlox. This is the next variety of the mock sunflower. The stem is different from the others. It's more of a darker color. And this is cotton candy, I think is the name of this phlox.
Yes, yes.
And they have a couple roses in there. Robusta is that one. The start of the dahlias. We had a dahlia over there. I have dahlias here. They're about 5 feet tall. Now we're getting into the real rose bed. Most of these roses that you'll see here are either tea roses, grandifloras, or floribundas. They have to be protected. So yeah, this is love and peace.
Love and peace.
This one here is Marina.
Marina?
Yeah, lovely
Oh,
orange
let me
color.
get close on that. It is lovely. Marina rose.
And no, Pink Promise.
Pink rose.
Perfect moment. Pink Promise from Downton Abbey, Anna's Promise. This rose is intrigued, but it doesn't have a bloom right now. It's going to start blooming soon. Again, did really well. So, this is a lovely rose. It gets taller than this normally, but this year it's kind of behaving itself. Sometimes it's this tall. It's Crowned Princess Margarita. This rose here is Brothers Grimm. This rose. It is a pretty thing.
Let's see if we can get it right in the camera there.
All this has bloomed and bloomed and bloomed. Just all year. Big sprays. Lovely color. Then we have Tahitian Sunset. This here is Sexy Rexy. We really had nice big sprays just finished.
What's the name of it?
Sexy Rexy.
That's hilarious. What a great name.
But she's covered in blooms, you know, like all these, and it lasts a long time.
Yeah, and what color is the bloom there?
It's a pink rose.
It's a pink rose.
This rose here is Bonica. I've had this rose for maybe about at least 15 years. This as well, 18.
Long time.
Yeah. This is a lovely rose. Jubilee Celebration. I just love this rose. There's some other nice roses in there. I can't remember the name of this one, but it's something apricot something. I can't remember.
Let's see if we...
Apricot rose. And this one here is Maurice Utilio. It's bloomed a lot this year. And this is another one from,
Oh, it's purple.
well, it's Violet's Pride from Downton Abbey. It is a darker rose, yeah. And the name of it is Grand Amour.
Oh, love. Big love.
Gold glow. Really pretty yellow.
So how many varieties do you think you have in your garden?
When you say varieties, you mean the individual roses, or how many teas, or how many?
We could go with either.
Yeah, I don't know how many.
Quite a few. We could say
Yeah.
quite a few.
Quite a few. This is a lovely rose. This is Moonlight in Paris,
Oh,
and it's fragrant, and it makes a lovely presentation with the Crocosmia dancing around it.
what a great name. Who wouldn't want it just for the name?
And it has nice fragrance.
Yes.
This rose inside there is a beautiful rose. These are kind of gone, you know, past their prime. Touch of Class. This is a special rose. This has been here for over 15 years. cherry parfait. This is Mr. Lincoln, but just in bud again. Really strong fragrance, and it's a big, strong, dark red rose. Crocosmias, as we've seen. This here is wedding bells. And this is white lightning that's coming back with some buds. This, that's Doris Day. This rose is really outdoing itself. Look how many here. Look how many here. Like look at this. And then you have a big bunch coming in here. It's been like that most of the season. Out here you saw earlier some dahlias. This is the anemone. The one, this one did better than that one. This is a new lily I got this year. It really, I could give you a picture of it. It's a cross between Oriental and Trumpet, and they each had 7, and they were big like this.
Oh,
one.
beautiful.
And all these I overwinter in the sunroom I have at the back. Now, this is a shell leaf begonia, and this is a
Cordyline.
Somebody was asking me the name and I couldn't remember. But thank God the tag is here.
And do you overwinter that too?
I
as well?
overwinter this. I bought it
Wow.
as a plant like this, and this is about the 4th year for it. I love it. Like when I look through the window in the winter and I see it, it keeps its form all the time.
Yes.
More dahlias here. You got these dahlias.
Yeah, I just want to get another close up of them though. It's really lovely.
Dahlias. We have lilies. This was just, I could give you a picture of the lilies when it's blooming.
Sure.
There's a bunch over there as well.
I saw them.
I'll give you copies of those.
And you were saying you weren't struggling so much with the red leaf lily beetle.
This year, no. I was this bush didn't have any of them. That bush had about 2, and at the back I had some more. That had a few. And these, every year I get some trailing begonias for the front here. An oriental lily that I started quite a few years ago. I overwintered in there, and this year it grew about 9 feet tall. It's broken now, and I had to tie it up because this one stem had 21 blooms on it.
Wow.
And these guys here had about 22. So in total I had like 43. You can see from the stems, all those were lilies. Corner here we have more dahlias. And the dahlias I start them in April and put them out at the end of May. So when I put them out, they already start to show bud like this. Some of them. So these are all in pots, and I try to overwinter them. Yeah. Here I've used 2 old sinks, and
That's clever. We'll just get under there and we'll just check out the sinks. You can see the spout there.
so I stage this. This is higher, this is medium, and this just trails over.
Yeah. So you have osteospermum, some verbena, and some bacopa.
Yes, yes. Now I just got this as a gift. This is the crocodile. I love this crocodile geranium.
Oh, it's fantastic. Are you going to try to overwinter that?
Oh yeah, I went all
All
the geraniums. Yeah.
Oh, good.
I'll show
Excellent.
you the geraniums. So these, call it basket or whatever, they have succulents that you have to take in. So this could be lift off, and this one could be lift off, and taken inside the sunroom.
Clever.
Yeah, lots of potted plants. Cherry tomato, some hot pepper, coleus. You should get this coleus. I don't know. But this combination is what I try to
You
get.
love that combination. Well, it's great for the fall too as well.
Yeah. Now there's another bed. In earlier spring, I could give you a picture of what this looks like because it's all alliums.
Oh,
Yeah,
ornamental.
Yeah. So these are sprayed.
I've seen lots of people use them for decoration actually.
Yeah, I have a bunch in there that I'm using for fall, like
Fall arrangements.
Yeah,
And so you've sprayed them orange. So let's just look at these ornamental onions. And he sprayed them orange.
and blue and yellow.
And blue. Oh, here they are. How clever. Wow. It's that creative spirit in you, Abby.
And this here is more than blush.
Oh, yes.
And this one I know for sure it's 19 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, it's 19. Some staff when I used to work, they gave me that when my dad passed away. And this, again, more dahlias, phlox, mock sunflower. This is a house plant, but it does well and looks nice out in this summer. They call it elephant ear.
Philodendron.
Philadelphia.
Yeah. I had one in my house. It got way bigger than I thought it would.
Yeah, this was really big, and we had to cut it back.
Yes.
And then I kept it in the sunroom in the winter, and now I bring it out here. It's happy.
Yeah, it's a huge plant.
Yeah. Yeah, and we have lots of delphinium back there, which I cut back.
You can
And
see that in the back. Is this the castor bean plant right here?
yeah, that's a castor bean plant. Oops, they need some more.
Do you remove the fruit because the fruit is poisonous or something, right?
Yeah, I just bought it for the color, and
Yeah.
and because I know I could overwinter it.
Yes.
These geraniums,
Wow.
they had more flowers, but the wind blew these over 2 days ago, and some of them, lots got broken up. You can see this is a broken piece
Shoot.
because that fell right over.
Holy moly, you have so many. It's neat that you display them all together. That's what makes it so stunning. And do you have this on a, what is this contraption that you have?
It's contraption, all right. It's just a makeshift terrace kind of thing.
Yeah, just like with different levels.
Yeah, so I have more space.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then behind there is a compost heap.
Oh, wow, so you can hide a lot of things behind
Yeah,
it.
so this is the finished part that I cover the roses with mostly, and of course spread it in the garden when I have more. But I have a video on how I do that.
Okay, yes. We should link that video below. And you have some banana plants.
Yeah, it was one plant and I separated it this year into 3.
Okay.
So, and they're doing well.
Ever get any bananas?
No, I don't think I'll get bananas. I don't know what it takes. I've never seen any flower yet, but it was in a small pot, so now that they have bigger pot room.
I saw them. Interesting enough, when I was in BC on the ferries, they have a whole bunch of banana plants with bananas on them in pots, like huge pots along like the ferry line. It's really cool.
That's British Columbia. Yeah, more.
Well, we've got to take a look at these bees. The
Yeah.
bees are loving this, Veronica.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. I hope you can see it. Aren't they cute? They're so happy.
Yeah, they're plentiful around this.
Mm-hmm.
The Veronica. And here's a mixture of perennials, like they have more peonies in there, monk's hood, delphinium still, some of them still blooming, but they normally they tower up there. I cut them back, and there's some that I cut right down that is in that open area there. Another variegated mock sunflower. This is a lovely rose. You should get it.
Let's see if we can get in there. Here it is. Oh, it is lovely. We've got some veggies here.
Beans.
Yes.
We got really good beans this year, and
Okay.
still have beans there. Look, to pick.
Oh!
Lots of beans.
Wow.
And we got 3 big bowls like this already.
Nice.
Some zucchini we got. And I have those ornamentals around. This is chard.
I love the rainbow chard. Tastes so good.
It's a new row of lettuce. I had 1 row here, and it was this tall, so in the meantime I put some more seeds. That's another row of chard. And of course kale took off. Can't pick it enough. And these are the tomatoes.
Oh, they're doing really well. Do you really eat all these tomatoes, or do you make sauces, or do you
Yeah, my
can
wife
them?
does things with them, yeah. This one here is Winnipeg Parks.
Yes.
Always a nice rose.
This is a very hardy rose.
Yeah. And this one that's going to open soon again is Kariba. It's a variegated rose. Here, love this rose. Queen of Sweden. And this is Break of Day. This is a lovely rose too. There were some nice blooms on this, but it's just finished. This rose here is Liverpool Remembers. And that one there, that's going to open up, is Strike It Rich. This is Blue Girl. She just finished, I just deadheaded it. And this white rose is Sugar Moon. But, you know, it's just going to open up. This is just finishing off Sunstruck. This is really a special rose. This is Robusta. Single rose, but always nice big sprays. It has about 5 or 6 sprays right now. Oscar Peterson. Gold medal.
Gold medal.
That's Tournament of Roses.
Tournament of Roses.
Oh, and you should get this one here. This is Perception.
These names are really great.
This is Pink Peace that's going to open up soon.
Royal William.
Yeah.
Was it named after Prince William? Oh.
Rainbow Sorbet, but it's just finishing off. You see, it's just about done.
Rainbow Sorbet.
Yeah. Dick Clark.
It's great. All these famous people have their roses. Isn't that neat how it changes
Yeah.
colors so much?
And it has more buds, healthy buds coming in. Touch of class. It's a very beautiful rose when
So how many hours do you spend in this garden? Like,
people ask me that, I don't check. And we have more roses here.
yes.
But this is a mix. It has quite a few tender roses, but we have a few hardies. This one is misnamed. I don't even know what the rose is. I have to find out because I bought it as one thing, but it definitely is not that when it starts to bloom. But that's golden wings over there. That's
That's a hardy rose.
yeah. And this one here is Emily Carr. And this is Morning Sunrise. This is a nice rose, but it's just finishing off. It's Honey Dijon.
It's named after mustard.
And this here is Love.
Love.
And that little thing there is Twilight Zone. That's a dark color rose. You can see the color down there. It's really, very fragrant. This is Bill Reed.
A Bill Reed.
I depend on the compost I make.
Okay.
The fertilizer I use is for all the hanging baskets and these potted things that are not in the ground because they don't have much, to draw from. But I depend on the compost a lot for the roses and the other perennials that are in the ground.
And
Pruning. I prune the rose. Of course, to cover these roses, you got to cut them back. I don't call it pruning. We just have to chop them back to about. Yes, we were going to talk about covering the roses. We chop them back to about this height, and then I use the compost to crown the base of the rose because that's where the graft is.
And how do you usually cover the graft?
Well,
Like about 6 inches, 4 inches?
well, it depends on how large the root is. Sometimes I play with 2 spades, or if it's a small rose, 1 spade, and on the root. And after I cut them back and put the compost on them, I put a styrofoam board around the bed. That's why I have them all together. I put the styrofoam board about this wide around the bed.
Okay.
And then I put packed dry leaves on them.
Okay, yes, I've heard that, yes.
And then I throw a tarp on it.
Okay. So the tarp covers the sides of the styrofoam, like it kind of sits like a
No, I
dome?
put it, I tuck it inside because the wind would pick. But since I started using the styrofoam edges, the wind doesn't get to pick up the tarp. Before, I used that, and I used to put all kinds of heavy things on it, and the wind would just toss it around.
Right.
But since I started using that, and then I tuck the tarp inside, so the wind doesn't get it.
I think we're going to have to do another video, so I can help you do that.
Sure.
I can be your assistant. And we can do another video you can explain. It's easier to show, right? Like,
Yeah.
rather than say,
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I have and then in the spring, for the other roses, the hardy roses, you look to see what, of course you're going to do a clip on that, cutting back the roses in there. And when you uncover them, anything that died back, you cut it off.
and
And then
disease.
it springs again.
Have you found any problems with bugs or like funguses like black spot or issues this year? Or?
No, so far this year I haven't had any disease and I haven't done any spraying.
So
And last year, pretty much the same thing. I didn't spray anything last year, but we do have methods, mixtures that I've shared with people and they're using it. I haven't been proactive. They were proactive. They do it early in the season as soon as the leaves
Yes.
are coming out, so
Right.
it works well. But like the key to it is to good cleaning up at the end of the season.
Right.
There's another Joan, who's the president of the Rose Society. She also cleans up very well, and we haven't had black spot and mildew in a while. We just try to take off the lower leaves. Some people cut the rose, and any lower leaves you just leave them there. But that's where those things have their eggs, and then it drops. Well, the fungus, I mean, if it's there, it carries over in the soil. But if it's not there, then
There's nothing to carry it
Yeah.
through. Yep. So that's the biggest thing, is just making sure you clean off those bottom.
yeah. And you know, like if you're on top of it, as well, I don't have much weeds, but if you keep the lower part of the plant as it gets older and it has more foliage on top, if you keep the lower part clear and clean, it helps when you cut back. You don't have
Okay.
much to worry about then.
Okay.
But we try to take all the leaves off, that remaining leaves, after you cut them back.
And you cut them back. How much are you cutting back?
Like I say, we keep them down to about at least 10 inches to a foot.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's how high you just cut them back,
Yeah.
just straight across. There's no
Pretty
like
much.
particular pruning or anything. You just
No,
go
no.
right across.
The size of the rose, like some of those larger, those roses, I will bend the canes, and that's why they're tall, right? A lot of people have these roses, but they're not this tall. They're just about this tall.
Right.
But I keep these, and the winter, I use these
The stakes.
stakes. They're smaller, shorter ones, and I'll pull these over and put one over it. So then it comes down to about here.
Right. And then you're sort of laying it on the ground.
And then I just throw the leaves because of the tender ones, and I, cover it, throw the tarp on it.
Right.
So when spring comes and I lift that up, they just pop right up and start to grow.
Nice. And then you have the height that you need. You don't have
Yeah,
those shoulder.
like these 3 roses here, a 4th one over there. That's more than centennial. You see how tall they are? It's because I'll show you where last year they started like from down here, like from there, to grow.
Wow.
And this one here, you can see the old stem right there.
Right. So they've
Yeah.
grown like good foot in a
Yeah,
half.
and then all that green, those green stems, they just start growing from there.
Wow. So how did you get into roses? Like what got you interested in rose gardening?
I don't know. I just fell in love with tea roses, and then I heard about the Rose Society and joined them and went to workshops and stuff like that. So, and we always share. Everybody shares knowledge with each
Information
other.
that's helpful, isn't
Yeah.
it? So that's a great tip for being a part of a society like that. You get access to other members who have that information and
Yeah.
can share.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. And is this your first garden, or like have you no? You look at me. No, it's not my first garden. When did you start gardening? When you were a kid? Did you start gardening when you were a kid?
I always was attracted. In those days, we planted a lot of vegetables.
Okay.
And I came from a farming background, and we had, dairy and stuff like that. So we always had good manure, and we always planted a lot of vegetables. And on the barn, we'll have squash and things like that running on the barn, the top.
Oh, okay.
And and there it's easy to grow things, but then I branched, we still had our vegetable patches and stuff, but I branched off into more ornamentals. I had like when I left, I had about 14 different dahlias, and what's the name of it? Lots of plants, and roses and stuff like that. So when we came here, that strip up there had something, and that was it. you know, so it just developed. All this was just
Well,
over the years.
I always find, like, with gardeners, we always want more, right?
Yes, because as you get more plants, and then you
Yeah.
go out and you see other plants you don't have,
Yeah.
you want it.
And then the beds keep on expanding out, and there's hardly any grass, and that's the way to go. That's the way it is.
So I was telling someone when I come in with new plants, someone try to back the car in so the neighbors don't see. Because they'll say, this guy does he need any more plants?
Yeah. My neighbors tell me that too. Oh, you're bringing home more plants. I'm like, yeah, can't help it. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that tour of Abby's garden. And so thankful you did this for us. Thank you, Abbi.
Yeah, and the garden changes every week is something different. So earlier you'll see different plants and spring blooms and stuff like that. Midsummer blooms, irises and alliums, and they're earlier, and peonies. They're all, you know, one after the other.
So we'll have to come back.
Oh, definitely.
And so until the next time, thank you, Abbi, again for having us, and see you later.
You're
Bye.
welcome.